Okay, so let's jump right in. There's this pretty striking statistic floating around.
Oh, yeah.
About 70% of people in urban India are dealing with gut health problems. 7 out of 10,
Wow, that's high.
right? It feels like more than just occasional indigestion. It suggests, something systemic, maybe tied to how we live now. You might even recognize some of this yourself.
Absolutely. It's a huge number. And that's really what we want to unpack in this deep dive, isn't it? To look at why this is happening based on what we know, and importantly, what can actually be done.
Exactly. Because it's not just about your stomach feeling off.
Not at all. The gut is linked to so much more.
Yeah, this mind-gut connection people talk about.
Hmm.
It seems imbalances there can genuinely ripple out. We're talking anxiety, mood swings,
Even memory, potentially. It's fascinating how interconnected it all is.
and the common culprits, the things people report most
Yeah.
often. IBS, constipation, that constant bloating feeling.
Acid reflux, GERD, even things like peptic ulcers. They're really widespread issues in urban settings.
So a big piece of this seems to be diet, right?
Yeah.
Especially in cities.
Definitely. That's a major factor. There's been a noticeable shift away from, let's say, more traditional diets.
The kind of lots of fiber, whole foods.
Precisely. Towards food that's, well, more processed. Fast food, convenience foods.
And that change dramatically affects our gut microbiome, doesn't it? Those trillions of tiny organisms.
It really does. They thrive on diversity, on fiber. Processed foods just don't offer the same kind of nourishment for them.
Okay, so diet's one thing, but what about lifestyle? Urban life is
Well,
stressful.
no kidding. Work pressure, the daily grind, finances, it all contributes. Stress has a very direct physiological impact on digestion.
And we're often less active too, right? More desk jobs, more time sitting.
Exactly. That lack of movement, being sedentary, it slows everything down, including your digestive processes. It's a significant contributor.
And here's one people might not immediately think of: sleep.
Ah, yes. Crucial. Poor sleep or inconsistent sleep patterns can really disrupt the gut's equilibrium.
Oh, so
It can actually change the balance of bacteria in your gut,
yeah.
affect how well it functions. It's all part of the body's complex regulatory system.
Makes sense. And we should probably briefly mention things like alcohol and smoking too.
Sure. They don't help, obviously. They can irritate the gut lining, interfere with digestion. There are additional factors for some people.
Okay, so we've got diet, stress, lack of movement, poor sleep, maybe some other habits. It paints a picture.
It does, a complex one.
So for someone listening thinking, yeah, this sounds familiar, what are the practical takeaways? What can actually help?
Well, the starting point really has to be diet. That comes up again and again.
Back to basics.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Focusing on whole, unprocessed foods, lots of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, essentially getting enough fiber.
It sounds simple, but it's fundamental for feeding those good gut bacteria.
Absolutely. And don't forget hydration. Just drinking enough water is honestly critical for good digestion.
Simple, but easy to neglect. Okay, what else? Stress management.
Big one. Finding ways to cope with stress is key. And that could be anything, really. Maybe yoga, meditation, even just deep breathing exercises a few times a day.
Something sustainable.
Right. And movement. Getting regular physical activity. It doesn't have to be intense.
Like a brisk walk.
Perfect. It stimulates bowel motility, helps keep things moving.
And sleep. We mentioned it as a factor.
So prioritizing it is part of the solution, aiming for consistent, good quality rest. It lets your whole system, including your gut, repair and function properly.
What about specific foods? Probiotics, prebiotics.
Yeah, they can be beneficial. Probiotics are the good bacteria themselves found in fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, things like that.
And prebiotics.
They're the food for those good bacteria.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly types of fiber found in fruits, vegetables, legumes, whole grains. So a fiber-rich diet naturally includes prebiotics.
Got it. So feed the good guys. And on the flip side, limit the bad stuff.
Makes sense, doesn't it? Reducing your intake of heavily processed foods, sugary drinks, maybe excessive unhealthy fats. It's about creating a better environment inside.
Okay. And of course, if someone's having persistent problems.
Then it's really important to see a doctor or a healthcare professional to get a proper diagnosis and personalized advice. Rule out anything more serious.
Definitely. So wrapping this up, it's clear gut health is a major issue, particularly in urban India, and it's tightly linked to our lifestyle.
Very much so. Diet, stress, activity levels, sleep, they all play a significant role.
Which leads to a final thought maybe for everyone listening.
Mm-hmm.
Given this deep connection we've talked about between the gut and the mind, what's maybe one small change you could make, starting today, to support both?
That's a great question because often it's those small, consistent steps that really add up to better overall health and well-being. Something to think about.